Good morning everyone. So today we are going to retell one of the Chinese folk tales written by John McGowan, and this is about the story of Kwang Jui and the god of river. China is a land where the great masses of people have to toil and struggle insistently in order to obtain even the bare necessities of daily existence. Unnumbered multitudes never enjoy a sufficiency of food but have to be contented with whatever heaven may send them, and profoundly thankful they are when they can be so sure of 2 meals a day to stave off the pangs of hunger from themselves and their children. How many they are who cannot by the severest toil obtain even these 2 meals is evident from the organized beggar communities which are to be found in connection with every great city in the empire, and from the vast numbers of tramps who wander over the country on the highways and byways with pale uncertain faces, with garments nearly falling to pieces, picking up a scanty livelihood from the benevolent as they pass village to village. Whatever may be their inmost thoughts, the Chinese bear their terrible hardships and provisions with a splendid heroism, with little complaining, with no widespread outbreaks of robbery, and with no pillaging of rice shops and public granaries by organized mobs driven mad by hunger. There is one beautiful feature about the Chinese that has been an important factor in steadying the nation. They are imbued with at least one great ideal which touches their common life in every direction. Every man in the empire, rich or poor, learned or unlearned, has a profound respect for what he calls Tian Li, or divine righteousness. By this, the Chinese judge all actions. It is the standard by which kings and princes and common people direct their conduct, whether in the highest affairs of state or in the ordinary engagements of common everyday life. In addition to this, the minds of the Chinese are filled with romance and poetry, so that to them the invisible world is peopled with fairies and all kinds of spirits, both good and bad, the former relieving in mysterious ways the dull grayness that sorrow and disaster often shed upon the lives of men. The story of Kwang Jui is a remarkable evidence of the unbounded faith which the Chinese have in the intervention of these mysterious beings to deliver men from calamities which would otherwise prove fatal to them. When we first met with Kwang Jui, he is living with his widowed mother in a retired part of the country. His father had been dead for some time, and Kwang Jui was now the only one upon whom the fortunes of the home could be built. He was a very studious lad and was possessed of remarkable abilities, the result being that he successfully passed the various imperial examinations, even the final one in the capital, where the sovereign himself presided as examiner. After this last examination, as the men were waiting outside the hall for the names of those who had satisfied the emperor to be read out, a considerable crowd had collected. Most of these people had come from mere curiosity to see the imperial edict and to discover who was the scholar was that stood first on the list. The excitement was intense and speculation ran rife as to which of the candidates, who had come from almost every province in the empire, was going to obtain the place of honor, which was the dream and the ambition of every scholar in the land. At last, every breath was hushed and every voice stilled in silence, as one of the high officials of the palace attended by imposing retinue, came out of the great central doors which had been flung wide open at his approach. In a clear voice, he began to read the list as headed by the name of Kwang Jui. At this precise moment occurred an incident which was destined to change the whole current of Kwang Jui's career as he was standing overcome with emotion in consequence of the supreme honor which had been conferred upon him by the emperor's edict. A small round ball, beautifully embroidered, was thrown from an upper window of the house across the way and struck him on the shoulder.